Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Nonprofit Enthusiast Live. I'm your host, Lasheena Williams, and I'm so excited to be back here with you all. Um, if you have not tuned in this month we've been focusing on program development. So, our theme for this month is Blueprints for Impact Crafting Effective Nonprofit Programs. If this is an area you're like, oh yeah, I need to, I need help in this area, definitely check out our past videos. You could go to the guide section or under the video section so that you can hear our conversations around program. I say this all the time. I love food, so this is the best example to me. If you walk into a restaurant and there's nothing on the menu, what are the consumers going to buy? There's going to be nothing, right? So the same thing in our nonprofits. If we don't have programs and services, what are our donors going to invest in? So programs are essential to nonprofit organizations. So make sure that you check out our past lives if you haven't already. If you're tuning in, give us a on a replay, give us a hashtag replay so that we know that you have tuned in and you're here. If you got to invite a friend to the conversation, go ahead and tag them, but don't forget to invite them to the group first so that way they'll get the tag alert. So we're going to continue the conversation. I have a few announcements that I'll be making later on, later on in the live, but we're going to continue the conversations talking about program development. And an area I realized I have not talked about in a while is people, processes, and systems or technologies that's used a lot interchangeably. If you haven't heard my conversation on people, processes, and systems, make sure that you go into the guide section and check them out. But I'm not going to stay too long on it. But the reason why this is used in businesses to help businesses grow, and nonprofits are a business, and I really believe in this model of building your people, your processes, and systems to take your organization to the next level. And so, who's the people? The people is who's doing it. So, like in the program world, and I wanted to connect this to the program since that's the what we've been talking about this month. So in the program realm, who's doing it? Who's executing the work? Who's playing what role when it comes to your program? So this might be your program team. You might have, let's say, dedicated program managers, program coordinators, a team of volunteers helping you develop and implement your programs. Um, this might be, you might have an advisory board helping to direct what direction the programs look like. So thinking about who are the people when it comes to our programs. And if you're just starting out, you might be like, oh yeah, I am the people. um, and if that's the case, there are definitely opportunities out there for you to get others on board. So of course, you have your board who's a support team, and oftentimes in starting out, your board might be a working board and contributing to what programs um, look like, not only from a governance standpoint, but also like helping with executing the programs. But also, you can also bring in volunteers, and these volunteers may come from a local college or university nearby. It may come from working with your workforce center that's in your area. We found much success in our organization over the years to working with our workforce centers where they have different programs where they'll pay for internships with for students to be able to come over and intern with us. Isn't that a win-win? So definitely check those out. And that's not only for organizations starting out. Even if you've been around for a while, it's such a really good resource. So when we're talking about people, processes, and technology, who are the people doing the work in your when it comes to your program? Since programs are our theme this month, think about who is that, and you could drop that in the chat box as well. So who are the people? And if you feel like, oh, we need people, what do you need those people to do? Like, what do you need? Let's say youth counselors to come and deliver your some of your youth programs. Okay, where can we find these youth counselors? How are we going to advertise for them? Are we looking for staff? Are we looking for volunteers? So thinking about what does the people look like in the framework of people, processes, and technology. Okay, so then processes is how are we getting this work done. So, and we're talking about programs. So, what is this what is the program design? What does the program look like? So, let's say we're doing a youth program. Um, Over the year, it's going to be multiple camps. In the camps, we're infusing life skills, career readiness. What does this look like? And if you did not tune into our first live for this month, go back and check that out because we dive a little bit deeper into designing your programs and some tips for that. So definitely go check that out. Um, and also, I mean, all of our lives in general. You know, I'm a little biased. Is absolutely amazing. But if you're looking for some tips for building your programs, even from a funding perspective, definitely go back and check that out. Um, what does collaboration and partnerships look like as a part of our that might be a process in itself within your developing your program. So looking at that, along with what will monitoring and evaluation, what would that look like? So, you know, we got the plan, the design, this is a process, this is how we're going to execute it, this is how we're going to implement it, and this is how we're going to go back and evaluate what's been effective and what we got to change, and so forth. So developing a process for what that looks like. And then, so people, who's doing it, process, how's it getting done, and technology, what we do with it. So technology is a lot of your systems. That may be a communication system. How are the teams speaking with each other? How is individuals, your board member, how is everyone kind of connecting with each other? What does that look like? Um, some other examples of systems might be other tools you might be using to ease the process. Like, let's say you have a youth program and you're onboarding youth. They're able to, back in the day, we know, and I know there's still programs that do this. There was the paper application, but are we bringing this into a system now? Okay, now we have a online system where families can go, they can fill out the application quickly. It gets over to our team quickly. We're able to kind of process, review for any qualifications, approve them, communicate, and so forth in this system. So systems help you build efficiency. So what do we do with the information we got? So when you think about your programs, people, who's doing the work, processes, how's it getting done, technology, what do you do with those people and processes? And also remember, if you are missing a link, you can see that in your overall flow. Like, for instance, if you have process and technology, then and no people, then these processes and technology probably aren't going to get developed and are probably not going to move forward. If you have let's say people in technology, but they don't know what that process, I talked about the application being able to, once we approve it, then what do we do? That can also cause delays in your organization growth. So when you have people and processes, you're able to scale your organization. Processes and technology, you're able to automate your organization. Technology and people, you're able to innovate, and you have all of them, you're able to scale to the next level. So think about that. I just enjoy in different areas, not just programs. I like to think in these type of buckets. Like, if we're thinking about, okay, our program team is growing tremendously, what are we going to do? What people are we going to need? Are we going to need to increase the hours on our existing people? Are we going to, like, what does that look like? What processes are we going to need? How can we fine tune it? And this is real life for my organization right now. We're going through this. We're like, okay, what team do we need? What processes do we need to put in place? And the existing processes, do we need to revamp them? Or is it a matter of it's already been built, so we just hand it over and now kind of move, continue to build upon it? Technology, how can we make this more faster, efficient, um, easy, so that when we download reports and so forth and have to submit it wherever, monitor our ratios, we can do that quickly and efficiently. So we're living that. So what does that look like for your organization? And it doesn't just need to be in the programs area just because we're talking about programs this month. That's why I'm kind of tying it in. But what does that look like for other areas of your organization as well? If you feel like, okay, our programs are good, think about what does that look like for other areas. So people, processes, and technology. So that's what I wanted to share today, is thinking about that, especially when it comes to your program, and helping your program grow. Something else I want to mention is, right when you think, the cool thing about this, right when you're like, I got the creme de la creme of people, the processes are like at max. We got this on fire. Technology, we're good. We got, the best technology. It's a continuous cycle. So it's not like, oh, we want, check, 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 we won, we don't have to do nothing else. No, now it's like, okay, what's next level? It's a continuous cycle. And I shouldn't use the word cycle because not necessarily an order, but it's continuous growth. So right when you think, okay, we got this, check, check, and check. Okay, what's next level? Now do we need to bring on more people? And that's good, because that means it's working, and that's what's going to happen. You're going to have to continue to scale. Okay. All right. So I hope that helped you all when developing and looking at your programs, and just putting on those lens of people, processes, and technologies, setting goals around that for your organization. Yeah, so definitely check that out. So something I wanted to, before I hop off today, we have a lot of cool things coming that will be dropping soon. But something I want to make sure that I mention before I hop off today, if you, especially our regular nonprofit enthusiast live watchers, make sure that you check our events page to know when our upcoming lives are taking place. We're going to change the schedule a little bit. Some weeks we may be doubling up with guests, and some we may, let's say if we did 2 this week, we may not necessarily do next week. We're going to be kind of changing it up and trying out some new things. So please, please, please check the events page to see what's coming up, and we'll make sure that we alert you all so that you all can get those alerts to know that the sessions are coming up. We're just going to try it out, see how it works. If we have to go back into a rotation, we will. But I just want to give you all a heads up. So definitely check out the events page so you know what dates. We'll tag you in there, and that way you can mark your calendar and tune in. We intentionally make these conversations really short, so that way if you're on your lunch break, or if you're let's say you're on the go, you can kind of easily listen in and get some of the tips that we have for you all. So please don't forget, keep an eye on the events page. If you miss any, you always can come back. Give us a hashtag replay, because we definitely want to know that you're here. And then you can also always go back to any of the other lives that we did, and we've done over 100 in the guide section of the group. So definitely check that out. All right, y'all. So I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see y'all on our next live. Bye, everyone.